Hey everybody, I just wanted to start tonight's show a little bit on a somber note. As we know, Anthony Bourdain unfortunately passed away last week, and so like everybody else, I was stunned. I've been a big fan of his for a long time, ever since I first read Kitchen Confidential. I actually had the pleasure of meeting him several years ago at a book signing, and he was really gracious. He was really cool. He read a little bit of his book. He was very candid with us. He even seemed a little bit nervous at times, but it was a great meeting of the guy, somebody who I really admired. And I loved his show. It was so real. It was so authentic. He just went to these countries. He enveloped himself in the culture. He tried the food. The guy was open to anything. And that made him such a welcome guest to people all over the world and to an audience who was learning about these places, most likely for the first time. And he just narrated his shows with such eloquence, with humor, with wit, a little sarcasm from time to time. And it just really gave you a really interesting window into places of the world through a voice that had never really been around before. He came around at a time that I think we were all hungry for that, as cable was expanding at that period in the early 2000s. And so first through the Travel Channel and then now through CNN, we really got a chance to see the world through his eyes. And I will forever miss him. I'll miss his show. I'll miss his wit. And I just think he was a great, great human being, one of my heroes. And I just hope he's at peace. And I'm definitely thinking about his family now, especially his daughter. But Anthony, thank you for everything you did for all of us and how much you meant to me. And I will miss you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased to be here before you to introduce myself and my cohort this evening. I am, of course, the Lord of Darkness. I do want to compliment my friends on planet Earth. Yes, we all know that the trajectory of human existence has gone into my realm, that we shall all be on that ubiquitous highway to hell very shortly, thanks to the supreme leaders of this fine, entranced, messed up country that we all reside. Of course, myself, I am universal. I am the God of Darkness. I have come here before you to stand behind you, to tell you something I know everything about, because evil is my life. That's right, folks. Anyway, I would in fact like to introduce myself. Yes, I am the Lord of Darkness. No applause, please. You may stop. Yes, see, I have palms of whiteness there. As many of my friends do. So therefore, I'd like to introduce this gentleman to my right. He is just a man in a costume, unlike myself. He is the slumlord.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your kindness, your very nice open, and I appreciate your sentiments. I am the slumlord, and I am here to help you co-host this discussion about cinema, about film. In particular, this evening, we are going to focus on a realm that I know you're very familiar with.
Of course.
The world of horror. Horror
yes.
films. Tonight, we will be discussing many different types of horror films.
Yes.
So this will be a very good show for those of you that enjoy horror movies. If you don't, well, this is the wrong show for you.
And if you cannot understand this man, please remove your head from your anus, and perhaps his clarity shall be more severe.
I have a slight
I cannot
impediment.
understand a bloody word he says.
I have a slight speech impediment. I apologize to you. I will do the best that I can to rectify.
God.
So,
As I say, evil has become us. We are what we are because I have a frog within my throat.
oh, that's not the
Pardon
only
me.
thing you have in your throat.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay,
I've
that's
heard
easy.
the stories.
But I'm bummed. All right, we're going to begin our beloved show here.
Let's do
right.
it.
We are subbing for the usual hosts of this blimey show called Film Banter. I am the Lord of Darkness. Let me first do my small ritual, if I may. Spiritus Sanctum Arbers.
Please, get the hold of yourself, sir.
I am prepared. I am prepared to begin the show now. So we're going to start. We're going to review a film that has overtaken the airwaves and the cinematic world, known as Hereditary.
Yes, Hereditary. A very, very interesting horror film. It was a big success at Sundance, I've heard.
Yes, indeed.
And now it is before you on the screens at your local neighborhood theater. Would you like to describe the premise, or shall I do the honors?
Well, the premise is such that basically we have very many premises. We have the opening of our film is about a grandmama who perishes. I had nothing to do with it, by the way.
And
she died of natural causes.
We learned that within the first second of the film.
Precisely.
Let's not get into any spoilers, though.
There are no spoilers to really give, if I may be so sublime. After seeing the film, I'm not sure that I know what the spoilers are. However, the film is such that we have the brilliant Toni Collette there with the amazing and breathtaking, whatever his name
Gabriel
is.
Byrne.
Gabriel Byrne, of course, who we always loved in some of the Coen brothers. He was in Miller's Crossing. I always loved the man, but he's a great actor within his own right. However, this film goes into a strange, perplexing metamorphosis, and of course, I never metamorphosis I didn't like. But it goes into a strange, there are deaths within this film. I don't want to give too much away.
Yes, let's not reveal that.
However, I'm going to say right off the bat that I was not very fond of this film. I felt that it lacked in so many areas of pure horror. There was only a shudder or two for myself.
You know, I was thinking the same thing.
And also, one of the kisses of death for any film is if the audience begins to chuckle amidst the screening, and I did find this to be the case. People were chuckling and laughing, and I, of course, began to chuckle with them. I found the film a little disjointed. It moves around a lot, and many things happen. There is a young daughter in the film who is portrayed by a very young girl.
Her name is Millie Shapiro.
No one can understand what you just said.
Her name is Millie Shapiro.
Millie?
Millie? Millie?
Millie?
Millie Vanilli. Millie Shapiro.
Like Millie Jackson, the singer?
Yes, and then Shapiro, like O.J.'s
Millie
lawyer.
Shapiro.
Didn't O.J. have a lawyer named Shapiro?
Yeah, I think that was O.J.'s lawyer.
Maybe.
Millie Shapiro.
I
There
got to
she
say
is.
about this young girl for one moment, and I don't mean to be rude, but she must be one of the oddest people I've ever witnessed in my life.
Wait, much makeup is on her face there.
I don't know. She has a very strange appearance, my friend.
If you go into IMD.
I was on IMD.
Yeah, and there, she doesn't quite look like that.
I thought, like in that picture right there,
She
she
looks like
atrocious.
somebody. I wish I knew who it was.
She looked like something I don't ever want to see in a dark
she
corner.
looks like a person that I know in my life.
Really?
I don't know who it is.
Oh.
I am the Lord of Darkness, not the Lord of
Well, you know many
light.
people.
I do know many people.
How can you keep track of them all?
I can't. Anyway, did I love this film? I did not. I did not love this film. I walked out of the theater. The ending is so perplexing and so completely off the wall. I left the film, I have to say, disjointed and saddened, because I thought that there were certain premises within this film that made it and could have made it great. However, as the Lord of Darkness, I have no power over things that have already been. I can only change that which is to come. So unfortunately, I was saddened to play with my popcorn most of the time, and to just simply sit there and idolize this film in,
So do you recommend
less
the
than
movie?
enchanting appreciation.
Do you recommend the film to people to go see?
I do not recommend for people to go see this film. I do believe disappointment is at the end of the journey. I do believe, however, that there are setups, there are certain things within this particular horror film that we have not seen before. So therefore, I'm torn. I really am torn. I liked part of it, and yet the other part of me is torn, and I don't like it. But did I like? It's a 2.5, almost a 3-star, but I can't go 3 stars on this film.
Okay.
Can you?
Well, I'm going to say I generally agree with you about it being roughly about a 2.5-star film. However, the main reason that I would recommend this film to somebody to go see is for Toni Collette's very exceptional performance, in my humble opinion.
She's wonderful, I have to say.
I really liked her in this film. I like her in every film, let's be honest.
You do?
I do. She's wonderful. She's wonderful. She's a workhorse. The woman doesn't stop. But I thought she was exceptional in this movie.
All right.
She is the anchor of this film. And I thought Gabriel Byrne also was excellent. I mean, the whole cast is very good. Yeah. They do what they can with this film. But, you know, this film, as I expected going into it, ends up being one of these movies that...
Now, this kid right there.
Yes.
We just saw him in Jumanji.
Alex Wolff is his name, and he was also one of the bombers in the Boston Marathon bombing film that came out last year, Patriots Day. He was one of them.
Indeed.
But back to my point, this film was being promoted, as they always do, as the scariest film in decades.
Yes.
This generation's Exorcist. Bullshit.
I totally agree.
Stop it with that. No. Stop giving us false hope for an amazing movie.
Unsublimed manure.
They did the same thing with the Blair Witch Project.
I have to agree with you.
Stop it. It's a cool movie. It has some interesting things going on. It's very unsettling. The unsettling nature, the disturbing nature grows as the film reaches its climax. But it is by no means on par with The Exorcist.
No.
However, not many films can be.
But you know what? It could have been.
It could have been. I agree with you.
This film could have been if they had only stayed true to the actual story that they set within the beginning. But they don't. They veer away, they veer away, they veer away again, and next thing you know, we've gone into an area that is just completely foreign to us. The film ends on a very unsettling but confusing note.
And I feel like the last 20 minutes or so, as you say, it goes into territory that I feel like they just wrote in there to give some excitement to the ending of the movie. There are characters, let's just say, climbing the walls, you could say.
Yes.
I think they just threw that in there because nothing up until that point in the film was going in that direction. You know, the film is about spiritualism, there's about Satanism, and all these things, all these ideas are thrown at you.
How dare you! Satanism.
I dare say what I want.
I suppose it was.
They were worshipping you in some way in this film.
Well, thank you. It's always nice to be recognized for any reason.
Take what you can get in this world. But I will say this, I recommend the film for Toni Collette. You don't need to run out to the theater, but I'm giving it a mild yes for her especially, and for some of the interesting scenes that are on display in this film. But it is by no means, do not believe the hype.
I totally agree. Yes, it was unsettling. It really just lost its own way amongst the droppings of the breadcrumbs and trying to get us to the end of the film, unfortunately.
However, the sequence that occurs, let's just say there's something that occurs after a party. That whole few moments there were pretty tense. Some of the best moments of the film, I would say. But overall, the film... it's not what they are trying to get you to believe.
Film,
some of the deaths are well earned. There are some good scenes.
And there is some horror there after the deaths, but unfortunately...
But it's not this, like, only... some of the things that I read were saying, some people, this movie, they cannot prepare for this film.
No.
Hogwash. Rubbish.
As your Lord of Darkness, I have to proclaim this film had no light for me.
It's not this big epic.
I was most distraught with its end results and so forth, and I'd like to now move on to our next journey.
Yes, so what we are going to do for the rest of the show, we are going to be meandering in the world of horror. We are going to be discussing...
The world of horror?
Horror films that you...
Is that why you're dressed like that?
Well, I like this. I like coming onto the show in this garb.
You do?
I do. It gets me out of the dumpster a couple of days a week, I'll tell you that much.
I can say that again.
But we are going to hang out in the horror realm. We are going to discuss films that you are probably aware of, maybe films that you are not aware of. But we are going to be talking about horror nonetheless. And I believe there are some very nice collages of horror characters that we can maybe show the audience.
Sorry, I can't give you my autograph. I can't give you my autograph now. I'm sorry.
Get it to me later, please, for my nephew.
Perhaps later.
Really? Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go through the annals of horror.
Yes,
there's a wonderful poster.
There's a wonderful little montage there of horror characters. Well, you know, I stumbled along it on the interweb.
Oh, the dark web?
The dark web, exactly, the dark web. I was evicting 3 families on the way here, and I said, I like this photo. Let me send this to the Be Terrific guys.
Wonderful of you.
But anyway, as we were saying about horror, we all know some of the big hitters like Psycho. We're very familiar with that film.
We are indeed.
We're very familiar, as we mentioned a couple moments ago, The Exorcist.
Yes.
We all know the Saw franchise. I think that franchise has been beaten like a dead horse.
Yes.
I like that little scarf you're wearing there, by the way.
Well, thank you so much.
It appeals to me.
It does? Would you like to have it?
I would like it one day. I'd like to wear it.
Try it.
Thank you. Yes. I'd like to put it on. Maybe later.
Yeah, go ahead. You can
Can
put
I
it
take
on.
it from you like this?
Yeah, go ahead. Put it on.
Let me try it on here. Oh, I like this. I can get used to this. What do
All
you
right,
think?
that's enough.
You want it back?
I do.
All right.
Thank you. And there's a strange new world that you enter when you say, I do.
I do.
I do.
Well, I must say, it's time to talk about our first horror film of the evening.
Yes.
It's a throwback, a flashback to 1931.
Oh, no.
To Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Frederick March won Best Actor.
He did.
In that very year.
The first of 2 Academy Awards that gentleman had won.
He did. 1946, I believe, was the other for the best years
Years
of Our Lives.
which, yes,
Very
a
true
classic
indeed.
film in its own right.
Absolute.
You know, I must tell you about this film. I recently saw it for the first time.
Ah.
Mr. Daryl Smith recommended this film. Mr. Daryl Smith,
Why, that little
the
bastard.
man that usually occupies your seat.
No, yes.
But right now he's having some polyps removed in an alleyway in Queens.
That could be, you know.
Yes, he has
does
an issue back there.
He has other things to do from time to time.
does.
But yes, let us talk about this film. This is a brilliant
It is, but
performance.
I wanted
But
to say,
please.
like you were saying a moment ago, it's a wonderful film. But Frederick March is the heart of this film.
He
this man
is
earned
outrageous.
that Oscar. I had heard that this was one of the greatest performances
It is.
of all time.
No question.
And it is.
Absolute.
And I was so impressed with the transformation
Absolute.
that they did back in 1931.
He's climbing the bloody walls, for God's
Wonderful.
sake. It's incredible.
It was very effective for the time period,
I
and it
do
still
want you
holds
to
up.
do something on your own, however. Now
Yes.
that you've seen this film, I
Yes.
want you to go and pick up the next version, I believe it was 1936, with Spencer Tracy.
Well, as
also
it
does
has it,
the very
the-
same role with Ingrid Bergman.
The disc that I rented from my corner library
Yes.
has both versions.
No!
It does.
No!
Yes.
No, it's
It
not
has
the
both
versions. Oh, yeah, oh
Yes.
my God. Oh,
It does.
It's all there. Oh, my God.
Are you okay, sir?
I'm terribly sorry.
What has occurred?
Something overcame me there. I don't know what it was.
You gave me quite the startle.
Oh, I did. Very well. But you should watch both versions because
I'm going
Spencer's
to.
version is quite traceable, if you get my comic pun. I really enjoyed him also, but Frederick steals the bloody show. Look at that face. Look at those teeth.
I love
oh,
the
my
makeup.
God.
Very well done.
It's a brilliant performance, absolute, no question.
I have to agree.
There's just a loveliness about this. And this film, because of its age, the tinting, the black, the white, there is just a horrific edge to Mr. Hyde here that
I agree.
it really set the precedent for years and years
It
and years
did.
to come.
And the terror
It
that he
never
put-
really equaled.
I know, and the terror he put that young woman through was amazing. He really tortured her throughout the whole film.
Yes.
How about those scenes when he's running through the streets of London with the fog? It's beautiful.
Lovely.
The cinematography, they really outdid
My
themselves
God,
on that one.
incredible. Who directed the film? Do you know offhand?
I do. I have it here. His name is Ruben Mamoulian,
Oh.
and he made a bunch of other films I never heard of.
Very well.
But he did a wonderful job with this one.
Yeah. He almost looks like Caesar Romero there. I don't know if you know Caesar.
I know Cesar Romero.
Caesar was the Joker in the Adam West Batman
I know.
1965-66 circa.
Yes, he was.
But very well, we cannot recommend Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde enough to you.
It really
It's
is a
brilliant
classic.
film. Go back
Seek
into the
it
archive.
out.
That's right. Everything is just not, television and movies of the day. We have brilliant performances that have been taking place.
We do.
should all go back and go into our hearts, seek into the depths of evil, and see this film for what it is.
'Cause you
It's
need
a
to know what-
brilliant piece of work.
You need to know what came before
Yes.
to get us to where we are now.
Uh-oh. I just realized.
What is occurring?
I do believe I've mistakenly.
Did you remove your microphone,
I
sir?
do think that
Would you
may
like
be
some
the
assistance?
case. So here's what I'll do. I'm just simply going to do this.
Why don't you
and-
let me help you?
No, forget about
Okay.
it. Now we can move on now.
They're not going to be able to hear you, my friend.
Why not?
Let me fix that for you.
But why shouldn't
What are friends for? If they can't
Oh,
fix your
well,
microphone,
you know,
will you knock it
that's
off
so true,
with
I
your
suppose.
enthusiasm?
Just put it right on my robe, if
Can
you
I
will.
put it on your nose? There we
You
go.
may, if you would. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. That's my
You know,
good
I
deed
so
for the day.
appreciate what you've done there for me, and I'd like to shake your paw. Ah, just kidding.
How dare you?
Very
Leave
well.
me hanging.
All
Leaving
right,
a
so
guy
there we
hanging.
go. No, here we go.
Oh,
This
the hell
side.
with you.
All right.
So let's move on. Unless you have
let's-
anything else you want to add.
No, nothing.
Okay. Well, our next film is from 1995. We jump many decades to 7.
Oh, God.
I would say
That's
this.
quite a jump.
I would say so.
That's a leap.
This film is a classic, a crime classic, but it is really a horror film at its core.
It is.
If you haven't seen Seven, get out from the rock you're under and go check it out. It's about two detectives in a very rainy city who are investigating a serial killer who is using the 7 deadly sins as his motivation.
Correct.
And we see all these gruesome deaths throughout the film, and it is just a masterpiece by Mr. David Fincher, the film's director.
The bad person in this film.
Let's not tell them that in case they haven't
I understand
seen it.
that, but this is a very good pre-performance by this particular actor.
I agree with you.
Who was now unfortunately blacklisted by Hollywood
Well,
this
let's
past
not give it
year.
away.
I'm only giving a very slight clue there,
Yes.
if you will.
Yes, yes,
But there is great performances here, and
This
David
whole film is
Fincher's
perfect.
dark essence is most definitely on display here.
I
and
would
most
agree.
absolutely a brilliant piece of cinematic work, I must say. Brad Pitt, one of his first films. There's a lovely little
Gwyneth
Paltrow up there.
Morgan Freeman, as we
Morgan is in
noticed
it.
before.
It's really a kind of a frightening film. The ending is
was.
spectacular. I love it in all
And you
respects.
know, the studio wanted to change that ending to something a little bit more cheerful. Brad Pitt threatened to walk if they did.
Oh, good.
So thank God for that, and we got this nice ending.
God bless Mr. Pitt.
This is a wonderful film. In my opinion, I think this is still, I think, David Fincher's best film.
I agree with
Fight Club is a great film as well.
It is.
I love The Social Network and a few other films, but this really is his masterpiece to date.
It's quite wonderful.
It's a wonderful film. There are other character actors in this film like John C. McGinley and R. Lee Emery. You have Richard Roundtree. Just a top-notch cast in this film.
What other David Fincher films, though, do you enjoy?
Well, I just said, I love The Social Network. I love, you know another one that I love that nobody ever really talks about? The Game with Michael Douglas.
I love The Game.
1997.
How about Alien 3?
I love that. I like Alien 3.
Alien 3.
Quite a bit. Benjamin Button was a good film.
I agree.
I also liked...
And the movie he did with Ben Affleck.
Gone Girl.
Gone
That's a
Girl.
good film as well.
Great little piece of
I
work.
like that. And I also... Zodiac was good. It was a one-time viewer for me.
I've
but
seen it
was
twice
well
now.
done.
I've seen it twice. He
is just a unique
it's
filmmaker,
good.
and I'm a big fan of his show, House of Cards, and
There
he
you
also
go.
did Mindhunter.
Absolutely.
Another good program on Netflix.
Truth indeed.
This is just a masterpiece. It's horrifying.
It is.
It's interesting.
It's frightening.
There's great acting.
It's wonderful.
It's just, it's
The
gruesome.
crime scenes alone are worth the whole price of admission.
In each one
Just
gets more
brilliant.
and more horrific.
Oh my God.
How about Sloth? How disgusting
as
Sloth
well.
is.
How about Gluttony?
Gluttony?
Oh my God.
I think I have a picture of both, possibly.
Oh, do we? Well, there's
think-
Sloth. I
But
don't
it's
know where
just
Gluttony
a wonderful
may be.
film. If you
Do
have
we have
not
Gluttony there?
seen Seven, you are missing out on a classic.
Is that Gluttony? I don't know if I can see here.
That looks like Sloth. That's Gluttony right there.
I have to wear these shades so people don't recognize me.
I know it's tough.
You know,
being
I
a
go
celebrity.
down the streets and people think they know me, but as long as I have these on, I find there's Gluttony right over there. As long as I have these shades on, no one bothers me and leaves me alone.
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
That's
sir.
always important.
I know it's not easy being a public figure. Especially
you're
one
so
as
right.
Hated as much as you.
You know, I try and bring as much debauchery and as much evil as I possibly can. I don't have to do much work anymore, though. Our present leader of these many
on getting him
countries.
elected.
I know it's quite
did a good job
insatiable
there.
a world we live now. Yeah, my brain just spins thinking about the luscious irony of pure evil that comes out within this world on a daily basis now. It's just incredible.
It's a shame.
I tell you, we are on a highway to hell. Could you do the chords? Highway to... Angus, where are you when we need you, my friend? All right, let us go. And now we move to our
Do you
next
want to
film.
move on to the next film?
Yes, what is it?
The next film is 1999's The Sixth Sense.
Oh, a lovely film.
You know, this is a fun film. I'd say the biggest film that M. Night Shyamalan, the writer and director, has done.
Yeah, well,
I think he peaked early. Because that was his best, I think it's still his best film.
I did like The Visit, though.
The
Visit.
The Visit?
Yeah, that was his
I never
latest
got
film.
around to see that one.
That is a great little piece of work.
I thought Split was pretty good.
Split was
James
excellent.
McAvoy.
Yes, absolutely.
I like Unbreakable,
wonderful.
and I like Signs.
I like Signs
But I don't
also,
care for
but
The Village, and I don't care for Lady in the Water,
Oh,
and
God.
I don't care for The Happening.
Oh, The Happening is one of the worst
Nothing
films
was happening in The Happening.
I remember when that film came out, and Mark Wahlberg
We were
actually
laughing.
said, "Oh, this is a scary film. Oh, he's so established himself. Oh my God, what a piece of hardcore garbage." And as the Lord of Darkness, that's quite a statement
I
from
applaud
me.
M. Night for trying something different, but it didn't work, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
But let's get back to The Sixth Sense, another film with the wonderful Toni
Well,
Collette.
Miss Toni Collette really kind of hit the grades. She was in, of course, a wonderful little film back in the 90s, I believe it was, called Muriel's Wedding.
That was her big break.
That was her big break,
From
and that's
Australia.
a great little movie if you've never
played
seen
the
that.
bride.
Oh, she's just wonderful.
She's
But
excellent.
I really do love her, but this film, The Sixth Sense, is just... Haley Joel Osment there can see dead people, as we all know. I see dead people.
He's a very good child actor.
Oh my
yeah?
God! You know, he's wonderful. He still does a lot of work now.
He's very
I
busy
see him
still.
constantly.
He was on Silicon Valley last season,
Yeah, he's now a little bit of a pudge.
and he's got a big beard.
He's got well, not always. I've seen him in other things, but he's maintained this particular cherubic, angelic kind of face.
He was in Kevin Smith's Tusk.
Oh, he was.
He
Indeed.
showed up in that film.
Yes, and absolute. But he's been, I say he's probably done 3 or 4 films in bit parts. I've seen him just recently
He's very
in
busy
another
now.
film that he made. And there he is, the little boy that he is. This, of course, Bruce Willis. There's a huge twist in this
There
film
is,
that
yes.
is so amazing and so wonderful.
And you know what's
if you've
funny
not
about-
seen this film, you need to, and
It
hopefully
is a
you have not
classic.
heard the ending, because the ending is just...
I will say this about this film. I remember seeing it in the theater and thinking to myself while it was on that, okay, this is a good movie, but it's not a great film.
But
then
then-
you get the ending, and
the
then,
ending.
and then you're sitting in awe. Oh my goodness, I did
I
not
know.
see that coming, and it was
It
very nice.
rips your heart right out of your body.
It did in some ways.
I know.
But you'd have to assume I have a heart to begin with, which
Well,
I
that's
don't
true,
have.
which you certainly don't, being the
I
slum
lost
lord.
my heart many years ago.
I know, that's so true.
That's
oh,
a
yes.
story
Let's
for
talk
another
out of
show.
the sides of our mouth like this, yes, okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's what Bruce Willis is doing right there in that picture. You
Yes,
notice his
he
hands
is.
on his face.
He looks very bored in that shot.
And that's the lovely Miss, what is her name?
Her name is Olivia Williams.
Ah, yes.
A
She
British
went on to do
actress.
a British actress, quite wonderful actually.
I would agree.
I've always loved Brits, you know, and
yes,
pot
what's
being a
not to
Brit,
love?
pot Brit myself. You know, I've always kind of sided with the Brits, you know. But all right, let's move right on here.
Yeah, we can move along. We are going to now jump to the year 2005
Oh.
to a film called
Yes.
The Descent.
Oh, The Descent.
The Descent
Oh, this
is
is a scary little film.
Yeah, this movie
There was The
horrified
Descent
me.
2 also.
Yes, you know, I have not
Not
seen
nearly
it.
as good.
Not nearly as good?
No.
Then I won't bother.
No, don't bother.
But I gotta say, this movie scared the shit out of me when I saw it.
Oh, my God.
It's gruesome.
I'm glad I
It's
wasn't in that
violent.
room.
It's suspenseful. It's horrifying. It's frightening. It's terrifying. Pick your adjective.
And
This
for you,
film
that's quite a-
is
that's quite a
delightful.
film.
It's about a bunch of women that are cave divers. They are exploring a cave,
They are indeed.
and they come along some
And these little
bizarre
creatures, these strange little creatures,
horrifying,
almost like gremlins, if you will.
prehistoric-looking demonic creatures.
Oh, they're very
that
frightening.
begin to feast on these women one
There
by
they
one.
are. There they are.
Horrifying.
I think I saw this kid at McDonald's yesterday.
I thought that was the one that was on your Tinder page the other day.
You know, but I think I
You swiped to the other
I
side.
swiped left on that one,
Good
yes.
for you. That was a good call.
That was a good call.
But this movie is very effective.
But
Check
I'll
it
tell
out.
you this, most of the women that are in this movie, I'd swipe right for.
They're very attractive
They're very
ladies.
attractive ladies.
There's the cast.
I'll tell you, this is really a wonderful little movie. It's a
really good.
chick flick with a twist. It's a chick horror flick, but my God.
It's a gem.
It really is a scary little film. James Cameron then later on produced the film that was semi-similar. He had people caught down in like
That was a 3D film.
Yes. No, it wasn't.
I thought it was released in 3D
No,
when
no,
it
sir.
came out. Yes,
No,
it
no.
did.
No.
It was called Sanctum. It was being heralded as a 3D film.
Oh, I don't ever recall the 3D version of
Yeah, I
it.
remember the trailers, I'm pretty sure.
But I do recall that he did a film in a very similar...
Sanctum, it's called.
Yeah, Sanctum?
Yes.
Okay, we can't understand you because it sounds
I think
like
only you're having trouble.
you have some sort of thing in your mouth that I won't make a reference to. But, you know, I do believe that this film, as the fourth goer and forefront of a movie such as Sanctum, this really is the movie to watch.
It's excellent.
If you've not seen The Descent, we're
Check
trying to
it
bring you,
out.
by the way, we are trying to bring you films that we have not always been to the forefront of horror. Many times you hear about films, we're staying away from Psycho, we're staying away from The Exorcist, we're staying away from the biggie,
The big ones.
you know, Alien and etc. We're trying to give you some films so that you can kind of go into your library, into your Amazon, into your computer, onto your internet, internet and you can get, borrow, or steal whatever it is you need. But some of these films we're recommending today are most definitely within our hearts and souls of the true horror buff that I certainly am. This imposter is not a horror man by any means.
I like horror, I just don't love
you're
it.
an imposter.
No, I like horror. I just don't love it like you do. But there are certain films within the genre that I love. Like Seven. I love Seven. I love a lot of these films, but I just don't love the genre as much as you do.
That's probably
true. But The
true.
Descent is an excellent film, and that's why I suggested that we discuss it.
Take a chill pill and watch your Netflix or whatever you have to do.
Why don't you leave
I think
your
we can move on
comments
to the next one.
Well, I had a thought I was going to express, but you're making me... Oh, what I was just going to say. All of these films that we are discussing this evening, in terms of our horror segment,
yes,
you can watch them all on Amazon. So fear not, they're a fingertip away.
Oh, my heavens.
With that
so
said,
if you're a Prime member, you can watch them for free.
Unless you may.
Oh, how
which is wonderful.
exciting is that?
So the next film is Drag Me to Hell from 2009.
Oh, Drag Me to Hell. Sam Raimi.
Directed by Sam Raimi.
The man who did The Evil Dead. He did the first 3 Spider-Mans, of course.
He did Darkman.
This girl is almost like a little Drew Barrymore clone,
that
if you
is
will.
Alison Lohman.
You know, she's only made about 3 films in her life, and of which this one is her main crux. She did an astounding job in this.
She earned her paycheck in this movie.
Absolutely. And if you actually, you know, this film is not only a bit of a comedy. Justin Long is in this film. There is a comic edge to this film. However, at the same time, we have certain segments there concerning this old woman who puts a hex upon her. She puts a whole thing on this lady right here. And I think it's incredible. I love segments of this. The ending is a little, I guess it is, you know, it is what it is. But regardless, I'm very fond of this film, and I've watched it quite a few times.
It's a very memorable movie. It's a lot of fun.
Lovely
it's a fun
looking.
horror
It
film.
really is a fun one.
It's very entertaining.
You can watch this with Grandma, and you know, and if Grandma has a lot of money in her will, you know, she may die and pass out through this film, and then of course you'll be able to collect your fortune. But this film really is quite
this
it's
actress
entertaining.
Goes through some things in this
and this
film.
girl, my
incredible.
God. You know, she had to do certain
trooper.
segments. Like Sam Raimi would say to her, "Okay, today we're going to pour maggots in your mouth." And they did. They had to put live worms into her mouth while she'd be laying there for a dream sequence that she did.
You know, back in the day,
this
I
girl
went through
earned
something
her paycheck.
like that.
Truly.
I woke up one day full of maggots in my mouth. I fell asleep in a dumpster, but that's another story. It's not a pleasant experience.
Oh, that's quite horrifying.
No, when you're sleeping on a pillow, but it turns out to be a stack of baby diapers that fell out of a diaper genie.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Did we really have to go there?
I wanted to tell you that
It really debased the whole very essence of our show. But it is what you are. You do these things.
We want a variety of things. But Drag Me to Hell, I recommend it to you.
I do love it.
It's definitely the most fun you'll have watching
Look at that shot
film.
right there. That's the essence of the film.
And if you like Sam Raimi's other films, you'll like Drag Me to Hell.
It really is. It's entertaining. It's constantly just gets into your blood, and it shocks the very life out of you. And it's one of those films that you'd like to come back to and watch again.
I would agree 100%.
And I have done that about 3 or 4 times now.
Well, thank you for
recently came out with, I believe, the 20-year anniversary. It can't be 20 years.
No, the film was 2009.
Oh, so
it's not even 10 years old.
So it's only a 7-year.
Your brain is mush.
It's the 7-year anniversary, and it's quite. I loved it. I really do. And there's all kinds of extra interviews with our little girl there, and Sam Raimi.
And there's Sam Raimi, the director,
there's Sam
right
over there.
Hard at work crafting
I'm sure
his
his brother is there with him, co-directing.
What's his Ted Raimi? Is that his name?
I believe it's Ted. Yes.
He's in the film too.
Yes,
briefly.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, you know who's in this film that I discovered I had forgotten?
Who?
A pre-Oscar, Octavia Spencer plays one of her co-workers in the bank.
Oh, that's quite correct, in the bank. Oh, yes, indeed.
I thought that was entertaining to see her there.
Very much so.
But anyway, we're going to move on.
We can.
To a film that I can say that I love. I love this film.
My God, no.
2012, Chained. It's a film directed by Jennifer Lynch.
I know it well.
David Lynch's daughter.
I recommended it to you.
You told me about this film. And I'm very happy that I went out and I found this movie.
Yes.
It is a disturbing life
very sick.
of a serial killer.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
He plays a cab driver
who
abducts his victims, brings them to his home.
He's a serial killer.
And in this movie, he takes a young boy and he makes him live with him for several years, literally chained up in this long chain throughout the entire house.
How long is it?
Many miles long. I don't know how long it is.
Very
how long
long.
is it?
It's
Very
long. It's long enough that he can get to the bathroom and get to the kitchen and bring Vincent a beer when he needs be.
But this film is so well acted. These two actors, the main boy, when he grows up to be an adult, his name is Eamon Fallon. No, Eamon Farron. He's the actor.
Yes.
And Vincent D'Onofrio just does an amazing job in this film, playing one of the sickest characters that I can remember seeing in quite a long time.
I must say this. One of the things about this film that most assuredly, he almost looks like Vince Vaughn sitting right there, just captured on a
just got arrested,
on his DUI, DUI shot where he's smiling profusely. However, one of the things that always sticks with me is the remnants of the victims. And in this particular film, we have moments here where Vincent will literally he'll go through the driver's licenses of the women that he has murdered and killed. And there is such absolute, we then begin to realize that victims have such a history behind them. And what happens to that history? Very often they're discarded into lakes and deserts and burned and things. But in this particular film, we see those physical remnants. And that to me was more disturbing than anything to some extent.
Him and the boys sit there and they play trivia with the information on the driver's licenses.
The characterizations in this film, directed by Jennifer Lynch, David's daughter.
Yes.
She did a great job in this movie.
I thought it's fantastic.
She also did a movie with Sherilyn Fenn called Something in a Box.
Boxing Helena.
Boxing Helena.
She did, back in the 90s.
I'll be a boxing Helena today, sung to the tune of Dancing Matilda,
and
if you would.
And that film was controversial because Kim Basinger dropped out, and then the studio was suing her for breach of contract.
Right. But the film, I do believe, was finished by her, no?
I'm sorry?
The film was not finished by Jennifer Lynch, Boxing Helena?
Yeah, no, she did the film. I'm saying Kim Basinger was the original star.
Oh, correct, yes.
And she was
sued.
Out.
She was sued for like $1 million. It was only an oral contract that they had with Kim Basinger, but they sued her anyway.
You think that oral contract was with a male producer?
I don't know. It might have been Harvey Weinstein. You never know.
I hope for her
sake it wasn't.
But yeah, it's a very effective horror film.
It truly is. It's frightening. It's shudderingly. Of all the films we've discussed today, this is probably the most disturbing.
I would say so.
And the most frightening to the guts of your soul.
I agree. When I watched it, I was riveted to this movie.
You cannot stop.
I loved it.
You cannot stop.
It's so well acted.
I know.
And the direction is so... It's so precise and subtle.
It's claustrophobic.
It took the words out of my mouth.
It's claustrophobic. It's so intense. It's so absolutely rivetingly frightening. It's a movie that will, and I don't recommend this film to everyone, and I'll tell you why. Because it will not leave your psyche very soon. In fact, if ever, you will remember this movie, and not in a good way, in a frighteningly horrific way, for probably the rest of your silly life.
It's etched in my memory, that's for
if it's up to me, will not be that long. Let me tell you, right there, because I'm coming for you all. Oh, damn it.
Very bleak pronunciation.
I'd like to mention something. Belinda Carlisle, wherever you are, I'm sick of hearing that heaven on earth song when I walk into every damn supermarket. Oh, love it is a place on earth. Oh, heaven is a... No, it's not. Hell is a place on earth. And Bob Dylan, knocking on hell's door, you should be. The hell is the matter with that? And Maurice Chevalier. Thank heaven for little girls. No, little girls have come from hell.
Now, I agree with your sentiments, but I must say I'm very surprised that you do your own food shopping.
I do indeed.
You don't have little minions to do that for you?
Oh, God, no. They always get the wrong things. Children. I have to go myself.
You're very particular
I like
about your
to pick out my own
avocados.
green peppers. They always get the soft green peppers.
Yes.
I like them to be hard and firm.
Yes.
I like them to be very hard so that I can cut them and chew them.
So you don't like any flaccid fruit?
Is there a flaccid fruit?
Yes. Many.
Name one.
A banana that's past its prime. It lamps down
I think
and
you
falls
just
apart.
described your whole being.
I did.
But I have to disagree.
I hate flaccid bacon. I want my bacon to be well done.
God bless you,
I don't
my
want
friend.
it flaccid when it's like this.
And I will shake your hand for that
I want
one.
well done bacon.
I agree.
When I hold it, I want it to shatter.
It should be crispy.
Crispy.
I don't want it limp.
No.
No, forget about limp
Nobody
bacon.
wants limp
Give me
bacon.
that crispy bacon.
We want crispy bacon.
I want it crispy and fat. I don't want it burned, though.
Not burnt.
I
but
don't like it
crispy.
burned. I just like it, and I like the little edges on the top of the bacon to be a little fatty,
That would be okay.
so that the centerpiece of the bacon itself is firm, but not burned. There's something about burnt. I mean, listen, where I live,
I know.
everything is burned.
is well done.
Everything is
You
burned.
can't get a raw steak, can you?
I can't even get anything raw.
Oh.
And it just hurts me to the core. So give
I
me
can
my damn
sympathize.
bacon. That's all I ask.
So this has been
Oh
Bacon
God, I'm
Banter.
so horny today.
Next week we'll have a different conversation point.
I doubt it.
So
But let
far
us
banter.
move on. Do we have any more films to
We
discuss,
do.
or should we just talk about bacon for the rest of the night?
I think we killed that horse.
I don't know. I think that's a... Now, speaking of horses, no.
We're going to do a film that I know...
That's a glue factory we don't need to go
Exactly.
into.
I heard that you like a film called Mama. 2013's Mama. Produced by Guillermo del Toro.
Say that again.
Mama.
Mama. I love the film because the beauty and luxurious, and a woman who I just adore, Miss Jessica Chastain.
Ah, yes.
She plays kind of a tattooed punk rocker in this.
She's wonderful.
And, I love me a good tattooed punk rocker. I really do.
That's a
and
very
I just
niche
love
thing to
Jessica.
love.
She's a love. She's a beauty.
She's a very
great.
wonderful, talented actress.
I did sign her soul recently. She will be visiting me upon her demise.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, she's mine.
Are
Oh,
you
yeah.
excited
no,
about
no,
that?
she's mine. I wanted her. I got her.
Did you do
I gave her career. Listen,
Oh.
she's a superstar now. That's right.
So that was
she
your
can
doing,
thank
you're saying.
me for that.
She didn't get that on her own merit?
No, God, no.
She had to submit to
No,
you?
please, leave God out of this.
That's
No,
too bad.
She got it from me. She signed a little contract. Her soul is history.
Congratulations
It's done.
on,
It's finished. It's gone.
Congrats on Led Zeppelin, by the way.
Oh, thank you very
You
much.
did a good job with that
well,
one.
Alistair Crowley's a good friend of
I
mine.
know he is.
And, he and Jimmy were always tight. And, of course, Jimmy bought his mansion there in Cornshire, or
Interesting.
Lincolnshire, or
Was it you said corn-
Jipwees,
did
or
you say-
Manchester, or Oxford, or one of those bloody
Did you
places.
say corn chowder?
I don't like. Yes, yeah. Well, when I was when I saw Chappaquiddick, I did have some corn chowder.
How was it?
It was quite tasty, but there was something about the Capecny sauce, the Mary Jo Capecny sauce.
Yes.
It was very untasty.
Yeah.
So let us move on. What is our next film?
We just started reviewing Mama.
Oh yes, Mama.
It's a pretty
Well,
good
of course,
movie.
Guillermo del Toro.
He produced it.
He
didn't
did
direct
produce
it.
the film. There is that feeling of Guillermo.
Yes. This was directed by, his name is Andy Muschietti, who did the recent film adaptation of Stephen King's It.
Oh,
and
that
he's
was
doing
him?
the sequel.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, it was quite good.
Excuse
I
me.
enjoyed it. What's the matter? Frog in your throat?
Yes, a little bit.
Well,
I'm a
maybe.
little parched.
Did you chip a tooth, perhaps? And
No, I choked on a lizard.
well, there you go.
But this film also stars Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
Who?
Nikolai Coster-Waldau, who plays...
Can't understand a word you say, my friend.
Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
Wait, let me do this for you. Now say it.
Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
Okay,
who
there you
plays,
go.
on Game of Thrones, he plays Jaime Lannister.
Oh, there he is.
That's
oh,
him.
yes, he is in this film.
He's very good.
He's quite good. I loved Mama, actually. There's a whole backstory about an orphanage and a young girl who
Well, they
is
have some nieces that come
a
to stay with
mother
them.
who is the mother of children,
I'm going to
etc.
get comfortable.
There's another great little film also out there, and I would have liked to have talked about this today, but I'm going to mention it briefly. It's also a Guillermo del Toro production. It's called The Orphanage.
Yes.
It's a really wonderful little film. We have no pics for it, so don't go searching. All those you down in the lower depths of where the Morlocks live,
If I
the
knew you were
people
going
who
to bring
take
it up,
care
I
of.
could have included the photo.
Well, you could have, but it's not. It's too late now,
It's
isn't
too
it?
late.
But I do love The Orphanage. But let's talk about Mama. It's the true star of this is the creature of Mama, who is the...
There it is right there.
There she is, right there. Now, that's actually an actor, believe
I
it or
know.
not. CGI effects. Quite good. One of the things about films, and of course these days on Blu-rays and discs, etc., is that we are able to go in and see the making of these films.
That's
Big
correct.
mistake. That's right. Just sit there on your high horse and leave those extras alone. You know
that-
why? Because they ruin the film for you
I
every
believe
time.
that actor that did that...
He's like 8 feet tall.
His name is here. It's Javier Botet.
God bless you.
And he also He also did the creature that we see in The Conjuring Part 2.
Really?
Yes, which we will be touching on in a few minutes.
Well, I've touched on my own conjuring every once in a while, and
Please.
you know, I've got to conjure something. You know,
Just a lot
listen,
of
man does not
fire.
live by you know, death alone. But let me talk about Mom. I like this film a lot.
I liked it too.
I did go back and watch it again though recently. I found it to be. I didn't enjoy it as much the second and third time.
You've probably seen it 100 times. Who are we
No,
kidding?
I've only seen it about 3. But I did love it the first time. I believe I saw it in the theater.
I think you did.
I'm not sure, but it's hard for me to say.
It's hard for you to remember what was going on in 2013.
As Johnny Mathis once said, it's not for me to say, chances are. Because you know, right over here, we have Johnny Mathis and little Topo Gijo.
Was that
Sorry,
a
now
Ed
these are all
Sullivan
people whose
impression?
souls I have taken over the years.
Was that Ed Sullivan?
That was Ed, yes. 'Cause
Interesting you had him
'cause you know,
introducing
right
Johnny
over
Mathis.
Here, okay, we have 4 young guys from Liverpool right over here.
That's pretty good.
All right, there you go.
That's an admirable impression of Ed Sullivan.
Well, thank you so much. It's always appreciated to be told by a walking corpse that you do a good impression.
I remember people.
I thank you, Mr. Lord of the Slums. So anyway, let us
It's my
move on
pleasure to
now.
congratulate you.
What is our next film? if you-
Yes, moving on. We are going to do, a film that's wonderful. 2014's The Babadook.
Oh, the Babadook.
This is an Australian
Now this is a film
horror film.
near and dear to my soul, to
It's
my
very
heart.
clever.
It's a very well done little
The
film.
way that they do the monster is very clever to me.
Very good.
Very well
and,
done.
There are subtleties within this film that are very, you have to pay very close attention. It's about a young girl, she finds a book, a young boy, forgive me, who has a book that he's fond of, and the book very slowly begins to come to life. The monster within the
Indeed.
book. That is the book. And the mother, of course, in this, it's basically about a psychological breakdown that she personally is going through. We don't know what is real, what is not. But the little boy in this film is brilliant.
He's
My
excellent.
God. I want his soul.
His name
I
is-
want the very essence of his person. I want his signature
His
on
name
my
is-
skin contract.
His
I
name is
shall take
Noah-
him forever because he's a brilliant actor.
I just want to say his name because I believe in credit. His name is Noah Wiseman.
What is it?
Noah Wiseman.
What are you saying, Miller?
Noah, as in Noah's Ark. Noah.
Wait, now say it.
Don't touch my person.
I can't understand what you're saying.
I'm being very clear.
His name is Miller?
Noah. Noah.
Miller.
Noah. Noah.
Noah? Like
Noah.
Miller
Like
Jojovic?
Noah's Ark. Noah.
Oh, Noah.
Noah.
Oh, well,
I
how
think
the hell is anybody supposed to recognize that?
because you're being obtuse with your hearing.
Don't you have some way to put that microphone up
It's
your arse? And then
Noah
you can talk
Wiseman.
through your ass like you've been doing all show.
I think you're
can't
just not-
understand a word you say.
You're just not listening.
Oh, for God's sakes, I can't make it out.
Oh, you're full of shit.
So what's his name? Noah.
I'm not saying it again.
So there's an ark here.
Yes.
Get it?
Yes.
Noah's ark.
That's what I said 4 times.
Oh, for God's
You're a
sake,
plagiarist.
ladies and gentlemen.
You're a plagiarist.
I can't believe my eyes. But yes, The Babadook, oh my God. This film is on Netflix. It's been on Netflix for about a year now, probably. I bought the Blu-ray. I love this film. It's just a brilliant manifestation. And it's frightening as hell.
It's very good.
It is. I should say frightening as heaven, because hell to me is my home.
I know it is.
And I'm endeared to it, and I love hell. It is where I live. It is what I do.
So you don't long for a cool climate ever?
A what?
You don't ever long for a cool climate?
A cool climate, is that what
Yes,
you're saying?
you don't long for that?
Well, you know, with global warming as it is, and I've been living on Earth now,
Uh-huh.
so... Oh, heaven is a place on Earth. Yeah, Belinda Carlisle, I'm coming for you! Go to hell! But anyway,
I thought she was part of the Bengals.
no, that's Susanna Hoffs. She was the head girl of the Bangles.
You know, I get confused
I
with
believe
all
she was
these
having a
80s
little affair
bands.
with Prince there because they had just another manic Monday. That's my fun day. I know. Oh, please forgive me as I play an imaginary ukulele there. But you know, Prince had one major song. He had When Doves Cry at #1, and he
Yes.
had Manic Monday at #2 back in 1986 or so.
He was an extraordinary talent.
But Belinda Carlisle was with the Go-Go's.
Okay.
You know, our lips are said, we got the beat. We got the beat.
You got my
know,
foot
our lips
shaking
are
here.
sealed, and we got the beat. And there was an old joke. Why can't the Go-Go's have any children?
Why?
Because their lips are sealed. But
Terrible.
But there you go, folks. But anyway.
But back to the Babadook, because we're
Babadook.
digressing.
Your feelings?
I think it's a fantastic film. It's a very different, very inventive type of horror film.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. The performances are top-notch.
Fantastic. The woman there.
She's very good.
She's brilliant, God damn it.
Her name is Essie Davis.
She's wonderful.
And she's excellent.
Has she done anything
totally
else?
sells this.
She done anything else?
I'm sure she has. I did not have a moment to look her up. What are you doing over there?
Because I can barely understand a word you're saying.
I don't know. It sounds good to me.
Well, thank God that I hope the people at home, and I hope those wonderful folks there who aren't really there tonight, I hope that they can hear you.
Well, somebody's watching Good Evening from France.
Yeah, that's only been there for the last
I
hour
know
and
it
a half.
has. It's been there for about 25 minutes.
No, it's been there for about an hour and a half. It
Has
was
it?
there before we got here.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Ah, bollocks.
Oh, yeah, take a look at the time. Yeah, it happened in 1928.
There's
Good
no
evening
time
from France.
stamp.
It's been there for years.
I don't think it has.
You were just a small little lord of scum before
No.
you became the
I
lord
was the
of
lord
slum.
of the trash heap.
Very
And now
well.
I'm the slum lord.
Well, all right.
Anyway, I guess we'll move on.
If you'd like.
We're going to move on now to the final film of our horror discussion. We hinted at it earlier. The Conjuring 2.
Ah,
Directed by James Wan,
correct.
who did the first one.
Well, he also did a
Insidious.
little film. He's done the Saw films.
He did.
He's been related to almost all of them. The
Yes.
first one, notably. And then he
Yes.
did a little movie which was about, was it magic? No, it was, what was that one about the dolls in a room? Dark Magic? Was it Dark?
Oh, yes, he did it here. I have it written down. Dead Silence?
Dead Silence.
Yes.
Oh, I love that film.
Yes.
That's a scary little movie.
I have not seen that one.
Oh, it's luscious and wonderful, and it makes me cry with delight
Ah.
at the very thought. It's quite tasty. But James is wonderful. But this movie, I've seen it 3 times now.
It's very creepy.
I also want to tell you that there is an off-spin coming. There is a character within this,
The nun?
nun.
Horrifying.
Ain't got none, can't get none,
Don't want
want
none.
none. Well, she's got her own little film coming out very shortly.
Can we show the nun?
It's wonderful. They just showed her, I
Oh, I
think.
missed it.
Maybe I missed it too.
But that nun is horrifying.
That's Patrick Wilson. My
Patrick
God.
Wilson. We have Vera Farmiga. That's Frances O'Connor right there.
There's a scene in the actual room
Yes.
that Vera Farmiga goes into within her own
Oh,
house.
yes, in
and
the
witnesses
office.
are done. My God.
Yes.
It was frightening. It was beyond
It's
frightening.
absolutely
my testicles
terrifying.
literally flew into the upper respiratory system of my own person.
That nun
as
is
I
so
grimaced
scary.
with horror
There-
at that nun.
there's
My
the nun.
God. There she
Horrifying.
is. Oh my God.
So
Please,
horrifying.
ladies and gentlemen, and people of little or no consequential brain scan, do not see this film. It will terrorize you. I kid you not. I love the whole thing. We have 2 almost separate stories going on. We have the behind story
Yes.
with Vera and Patrick.
Yes.
And they've come from another very serious, The Conjuring 1, of course.
Correct.
Which is great with Rob something or other is in that
Ron
movie.
Livingston
There
and
you
Lily
go.
Taylor.
I presume Rob
Yes.
Livingston.
And Lily Taylor.
But I'll tell you, I love this film, taking place in a British home as it does. It's quite wonderful and scary. Did you find it scary
I
at
thought it
all?
was very scary.
Shades of The Sixth Sense with that little
A
train
little bit.
coming out of the tent.
Yeah,
Remember that
yes,
little?
yes, 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 yes,
yeah,
you're right.
Same kind of thing.
And the horror,
very
there's
frightening.
just
little film.
so many scenes in this film that are unsettling.
Really, much so.
So when the little girl begins to become possessed.
Oh, it goes into the Linda
Oh.
Blair world.
yeah,
it's frightening
It's
indeed.
very well done.
Absolutely.
James Wan really did a good job with this movie. It's
And most
horrifying
horror
at times.
films are not longer than an hour and a half. Of
This
course, we
is
saw
almost 2.5.
we saw with our opening film Hereditary a 2-hour and 7-minute film.
Yes.
And of course, The Conjuring is about 2 hours and 15 minutes. I
It
believe.
is, yes.
And worth every moment. I
It's
love
great.
this film.
I thought Vera Farmiga was excellent. Patrick
Excellent.
Wilson was excellent.
How about when they're going down into the basement
Oh, and
into
it's
the
flooded?
water?
Yes.
Oh God, that was fantastic.
Horrifying
It
stuff.
really was horrifying. This is a brilliant.
It's
piece
really
of
well
work.
done.
Go back and check out their characters. And I love the opening. They're at the Amityville Horror
Yes,
House.
yes, yes.
And they're walking through, kabloom, shotguns
That
going
was
off.
cool.
Oh my God, it was incredible.
That was a very, very good
It's
scene.
a film within a film within a film within a film. It's a brilliant little piece of work.
I would agree 100%.
Absolutely.
I was really taken aback by this movie. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
I was really
Perhaps
into it.
your horror genitals are
Yes.
beginning to be sucked into the void there.
You know
that is
that-
horror.
This is one one of those movies where you know that there's a jump scare coming. You don't know when it's going to come.
I know.
But you know it's coming. And when it does, you are unsettled. You're disturbed. You're crawling in your seat.
Very much so.
I was up till 3:30 in the
Very
morning
much
watching this
so.
film.
You know, I look so wonderfully handsome today.
I like that outfit very much.
My priestly outfit. I had to murder a priest for this outfit, but...
Oh, that's not nice of
Oh,
you.
it was all right. He didn't mind.
Maybe it was one of the
old.
priests from the Keepers.
Pardon me?
Maybe it was one of the priests from the Keepers.
Oh, that would be a pleasure,
I
actually.
hope it
Dr.
was.
Magnus or the other guy.
Magnus or whatever his name was.
We don't remember his name.
He sucks.
Why not?
Merrick. Merrick?
Ah, Merrick. Yeah,
No, was it
like
like the
Merrick from The
Parkway?
Exorcist.
Or like the Parkway?
No, The Exorcist. Merrick, Dr. Merrick. He was the
I
one who
think-
came
was
in.
that it?
And, yeah, he dies. Linda Blair kills him.
That's right, she does.
Horrible. What about old Merrick? What's he doing these days? I think he's out on archaeological digs. That's what I think.
Yes.
There you go, in The Exorcist, of course. But, yes, wonderful stuff, though, I have to say. The Conjuring 2. I'm so grateful that you loved it.
Yes.
You can also do a cross-lateral jump in the James Wan world and go over to Insidious.
He did that too.
He did Insidious also.
Before
That
this.
starts Patrick Wilson and Rose Byrne.
Rose Byrne.
And I'll tell you something. That little Rose, boy, what a wonderful
She's
girl.
very lovely.
I'd like to get her signature on a nice piece of roast beef. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
She's a wonderful girl. I just love her. She and Bobby
Cannavale.
Cannavale, whatever. What'd you say?
Bobby Cannavale.
Yeah, if only someone could understand what you're saying.
They have a child together.
I do believe they did, but important it is not. However, let's talk about
important to
Insidious
some.
very briefly. Insidious is a film. You have no pictures there, so young Gabriel, if you are searching for those pictures, please find something else to do.
I didn't know you were going to mention
because
it.
there is no photos there for you to search. However, within Insidious, they promise you Satan. Of course, a mere enactment of my own being.
Yes.
But they promise you the devil, and they deliver the goods. They give you the devil. I mean, they literally, this old woman who is now a part of, she's now in Insidious 4, The Key. I love the Insidious
You mean the
series.
last key?
Pardon me?
The last key?
It may have been the Lost Key.
The last key, last.
Was it the last?
As in final, last.
The what?
Last.
Could you mumble that again, please?
Last, like final, last.
Oh, for God's sake, somebody give this man a respirator so he can talk.
You know why you can't hear me? Because your ears are covered, that's why.
What? Yeah, no, it's
You
because
can't hear
your
anything.
mouth is covered. If you just could talk,
Get off
I
my
could hear
person.
what you're saying.
How dare you
Oh,
attack
for
me?
God's sake.
How dare you
Ladies
molest
and
me?
gentlemen, do you see what I must put up?
I'm being molested by the devil.
Is that right?
This is my Me Too moment.
Oh, very well, very well. Let us pray. Let us pray.
Please do.
This is when you should burst into flame.
No.
Oh, God. Very well.
Are you done? Are you
I suppose
finished?
we're done. We can't be done because Dunn's in Philadelphia. No, Dunn's in Ohio.
Is that a place?
Yeah, Dunn is a place.
I've never heard of
Dunn,
it.
Ohio.
Never
yes.
been.
Yes, it's right next to Balls Falls, I believe.
Ah, yes.
Oh, heavens.
Okay.
Would you mind putting this on again for me?
Again, you and your,
If we're going to be talking...
your broadcast
I
incompetence.
suppose I may need this.
Broadcast incompetence here. I'm going to put it on the button. How about that?
Thank you so much.
There we go. Very nice.
Oh, yes, I do hope
But anyway, I think we've come to the final moments of our show here.
You know, I think people will be relieved because we've been screaming through the whole show. You know, it's just the nature of these characters that we've created.
These people are
you
very
know,
boisterous.
We are boisterous. We do have a tendency to scream, however. I do believe that we probably overloaded these mics so often, so that when I would drop my mic upon my floor, I would very much assume that the buzzing and that the static electricity created by my constant screaming would literally go away, and that now my volume would be at a proper ratio.
I guess I do sympathize for the viewers
Oh,
if their
yes, the
eardrums are
powers
bleeding
that be,
for this
whatever
hour.
they may be. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to bid you adieu.
But it has been a pleasure to share our thoughts with you on this horror episode.
Yes,
we
indeed.
hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you'll seek out some of these films for yourself.
Yes, indeed.
And we will see you next week for more of this hilarity. And,
unless we're preempted,
insight.
one never knows where we're going next
Well,
week.
next week they might be doing a live stream of
We might be doing a live stream from
a room being painted, perhaps?
McDonald's in Hasbrook Heights.
It's a chance, yes.
You never know where we're going to be, so you're just going to have to look up your local listings. And please just go to the elevator and make sure that there is a floor there. Otherwise, you shall drop down to the bottom and die and be along with myself. So
our normal time slot, though, is 7:30 on Tuesday evenings.
That is
right here
true, but,
on Twitch/Be
as we all know, there is no God. So we never know where we're going to appear.
Speak for yourself.
So very true indeed. So with that, we do bid you adieu.
Week, though.
You know, we're a few minutes short of an hour, however.
It's 5:01.
Yeah, I know, but we started about 4:04 today.
Is that true?
It is.
Well, do you want to just babble
sit
about
here and
nonsense
we can
for
talk
3 minutes?
about anything you like? What would you like
It's
to
up
talk?
to you.
Well, we should talk about movies to come.
Well,
now, of course, Ocean's 8, we did not go see.
That was the box office hit of the weekend.
I know. Steven Soderbergh, of course, did the Danny Ocean. This is Danny's
sister.
His sister. Played by Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
And I always love Sandra.
Me too. Big fan.
I really do. I think
I've been
she's
a big
wonderful.
fan since Speed.
Pardon me?
I've been a big fan since Speed.
Oh, I thought you were saying that you like Speed.
Well, that's a different thing altogether.
I enjoy a little Speed myself. Thank you.
You don't need anything to make you faster.
Yes, I've allowed my eyes to envision the world.
Oh, my goodness.
And I wanted to put away my mirrored lenses just for a moment. So I have that sort of a Batmanish kind of cowl thing going on. You like that?
Your chin girdle's doing well.
Notice, could you get a side shot here, please?
His chin girdle.
Notice the chin girdle. That's right.
It's wonderful.
Notice as I tap it. Yeah.
Let me tap it.
Could you like to tap it? Go ahead. Yes, that's right. The chin girdle. Ladies and gentlemen, this particular chin girdle is available to your local chin girdle shop. That you can go down, I believe it's in Ridgewood, New Jersey.
It might be.
There is a chin girdle shop, and you may wish to go down and check it out. So, sometimes I would do a bit of a turkey gobble. Myself and Clint Eastwood and Matthew Perry, we'd all get together and we'd do our frog.
Look at that wonderful close-up of your chin girdle.
Oh, my God. How horribly frightening.
Look at that thing.
You know, I've got to say something. Looking at my chin right there and looking at Christian Bale wearing the Batman cowl.
You're right. There is a resemblance.
You know, really.
Yeah.
Because his chin really didn't quite fit in the mask properly. The best person in the mask, I believe, might have been Michael Keaton.
He was great.
Michael Keaton looked great in the mask. He looked great in the Batman mask. And also, somebody had always mentioned that Steven Seagal had like the perfect head for a Batman
Too bad he would not have been good in the role.
It's too bad he's just, you know, such a major bag of douche that unfortunately we would not be able to get Steven within the Batman mask. But perhaps in his younger days when he was doing all those silly mafia movies, they were actually quite entertaining.
Yes.
I have to say.
He made some good films.
He did do some in his day.
I love Out for Justice.
Out for Justice was good.
That's the best.
And they were always, Steven Seagal is out for justice. Steven Seagal is
out for vengeance.
Out for vengeance. Yeah, I know. He was
down
always,
for vengeance.
Steven Seagal is.
Yeah, it's always the same.
Out to get you.
Fire down below.
I know. It was really incredible. He did like 6 films.
He did.
And what about the movie he did on the ocean liner?
Well, Under Siege.
Yeah. Steven Seagal is Under Siege.
Part 2, Dark Territory.
I know.
And then Fire Down Below.
And now he's in a new film. He's in a new film now, you just mentioned earlier.
Yeah, he's doing a film that's coming out very soon with Mike Tyson.
Oh, God.
It's called The Something Salesman. I forget what it is.
Really?
Something Salesman.
Oh, okay.
I think The Street Salesman.
Maybe the apples and pencils salesman on 42nd Street.
It's going to be there soon if he's not careful.
Steven doesn't make too much money anymore. He was doing that drive-along cop show for a bit. Did you ever see that
show? I watched it.
You did?
A little bit.
I know, but of course
Steven
Steven gained so much weight. Oh, my God.
Oh, he's a walking hippopotamus now.
You just wanted to put an apple in his mouth and put him on a rotisserie.
He let himself
and spin him around and play some Hawaiian music in the background.
It's a shame.
The man had grown into a gargantuan pig of a humanoid, and my God, what had become of him?
I know, it's a shame.
Well, you know, it's 5:05 as the old clock on the wall says.
So that's an hour.
I think we could sit here for another 2 hours and talk about absolutely nothing.
That's true.
What do you think?
But we're not going to.
Well, we're not going to.
Because I have to urinate.
Oh, you do?
I think it's coming soon.
The power of the bladder, my friend.
No, I'm kidding, I don't. But I think it's time to go.
All right, very well. So we're going to bid you adieu now.
We will see you all next week.
We'd like to say adieu to you and you
Tuesday
and
night.
you. do and you to you and you and you. Da 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 da. Little sound of music.
Must implore our audience, check out the archives on the Be Terrific website.
Thank you. We have a person looking at us over there. Hello, little person. How are you? Oh, she's waving at us now. How exciting.
But
very well.
Let's end this program,
all right,
shall we?
friends. We leave you now. We bid you adieu to you and you and you. So good day, good night. Take care. We love you all, damn it. And yes, I'm still horny for you all. As you can very well see, notice they have never gone down or settled. They're still in a very high-perched...
it's because you're sprinkling Viagra on
there
your
you
head.
go. Well, you know, as long as I don't ejaculate anywhere, and I suppose I'm in good condition.
I'm going to try
so with that,
on your
we say
shades.
goodbye to you all until next week, or whenever they decide to let us continue. So we thank you all
You think
very
this is a
much.
good look for me?
And good night.
Road. Yeah, where we going now? Yeah, let's just,